Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host Tony Cañas, and I'm back after a couple of weeks off for renewed for the new year. We're recording January 6th, 2025, and today I have with me Eliron Ekstein, CEO at Ravin.AI. That's spelled with an I, but pronounced Raven like the bird.
Correct.
Eliron, thank you for joining me today. How's it going?
It's going really well. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So we always give the guest the chance to give the elevator pitch. What is Ravin.AI?
So what Raven does is vehicle analysis and vehicle assessments for insurance companies as well as fleets like car rental companies and any kind of commercial fleets with a platform that has two components. One is an image capture technology when you are getting into an incident. Imagine you're an insurance policy holder and you're getting to an incident. We have a web-based solution that really takes over the camera on your phone and uses AI to capture the snapshot of what's really happened with the vehicle. And we use AI, as I mentioned, on the capture to make sure that firstly we extract the best data, but also avoid things like fraud, which take place sometimes. And then the second component is our image analysis and vehicle assessment technology, which is composed of our deep detect brain and our repair IQ technology as well, which what they really do simply is take those images and create an assessment of what needs to be done with that vehicle, be it the vehicle is salvage, it needs to be off. And that's the worth of what the vehicle is and what you should do with it, or any other repair operations that need to be done, and all of that from the images that were extracted by you from the scene.
Okay. From the insurance perspective, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so my insured has an accident. Um, for a while, we've asked them to take pictures, and for maybe the last 6 7 years, we have had at least some carriers like that. There's at least the option out there for software that can create an estimate from those pictures. But a couple of things caught my attention. From the description. So number one, the fact that it's a web-based solution. So that tells me that my policyholder doesn't need to have the app downloaded. Basically, like they can just go to the website. And, okay, and number two, the piece that I had not heard before from anybody else is that the AI will walk them on the pictures they need to take. What does that look like? What does it take into account, and what does it look like?
Yeah. So we've capitalized on a database of billions of images that we've collected over the been around for about 7 years, and have worked with some of the largest brands in the auto industry. And based on that base, we've trained a system that can actually mobile phone and give you real-time feedback on the vehicle of you with relation to the vehicle. Are you capturing the correct angle? It kind of works with you rather than you uploading images and then realizing, oh, actually they're not really good. In which case, typically the insurance company will just default to a manual process. So it's been really critical for us to have that technology and work with the user to make sure that we optimize the image intake. And I think that does open the door for a true automated analysis. So a lot of companies will say, okay, we're moving in that direction, but only if the images are good enough. Well, they've got to be good enough. Otherwise, you just have a bunch of images and the person sitting behind a desk to look at them, which is a hit and miss. In our case, we've optimized both the image intake, but also the logic that turns those images into repair data, into repair operations, not just something that a human needs to sit down and now write a full estimate from.
Okay. What percentage of the time is it being successful in creating a full estimate?
Well, over 80% of the time is the number I'd say we have sufficient data for a full estimate. And then we use that to create our analysis, our assessment of the vehicle. That is good enough to basically make the determination on, what is the extent of the repair? Is it $100? Is it $500? Is it $1,200 in that scale? And of course, professionals will always have something to say about our estimates, but that's okay as long as they have the images and the data to work with.
Okay. Um, what are the clients saying about it? What kind of feedback are you getting from the insurers, the carriers that are using it?
So I can give you an example from one of our clients, which is the largest insurance company in Australia, called IAG, which runs hundreds of thousands of policies every year and claims and millions of policies actually, but hundreds of thousands of claims. And those that go through our system actually reduce their cycle time by 50%. So that means that you're running from, let's say, 24 days to 12 days, or from 14 days to 7 days to resolution, which means either vehicle's repaired or the vehicle's been salvaged, and the payment has gone through to the policyholder, which is a major shift in cost, but also in customer experience.
Yeah. Needless to say, that's a humongous difference, right? That's 7 days of rental car that we save. That's a much happier customer, and a claim settled quickly is a claim that's not going to spiral out of control. So it is a win. Yeah, a faster claim settlement done accurately is a win, no matter which part of the equation you sit on.
I think it's partly on, I would say it's like split between the efficiency and the savings. So you're saving, like I said, on the rental car. So you're down to 5 to 6 days of rental car versus like 12, 14 before. And then on the other side, there is also the obviously the customer experience. But then there is also another hidden cost, which is in today's world where vehicle gets to the repair shop, to the body shop, and then the estimate is written. You never know for sure what kind of damage there was there at the point of the incident and what got added in the mix. You have very little control and visibility as an insurance company. With the estimate written through Ravin from the incident, the insurance company can be sure that the whole damage is related to the incident because the system can categorize it. So there is also an aspect of saving on the whole repair bill versus an inflated repair bill through the body shop system.
Okay. Any estimate of how much that is savings in is that producing like a 5% saving on overall claims, or do we have any idea?
Yeah, the savings will be, so again, from our existing customers, the savings are typically around $500 and north of that. So 500 to kind of $1,000, which is significant. Call it 10 to like 20, 30% of the total claim. So it does really change the economics around the auto insurance claim. As you know, it's a very painful topic for insurance companies. They hardly make money on on auto because of that logistics and overhead.
Makes perfect sense. How does it integrate into our systems? Do we already need to be on a modern claims platform like Guidewire or Duck Creek, or how does the integration work?
We do work through those systems, and depending on whichever one you use, we're seamlessly integrated. So let's pick Guidewire. If you're opening a file, then there will always be an opportunity to, as you're engaging with a customer, and they're lodging a claim, to send a link to Raven. So it's a magic link, as you mentioned, no install required, no username, no password. You click through, and we have a security mechanism to ensure it gets to the right destination. We use all kind of smarts in the background. So you can just it guides you through the capture process seamlessly. So you get the link by text or email or through the app of the company. You open it, you walk around the car about a minute or two, and then you're finished. And then on the other side, the insurance company will get their result back into Guidewire or Duck Creek in the form of a report. It's typically like an HTML or PDF that Raven has outlined what kind of repair cost that is, what parts are damaged, and what is the business decision that we recommend, be it total loss or some kind of repair. We can even tell you, look, this is a repair without any parts, so you can just allocate it tomorrow to a body shop because it's a very simple repair.
Okay. I'm always curious on the origin story. Where did this come from, and how did you realize that it would be a good fit for the insurance space?
That's a funny story, and the entrepreneurs have they're curating their own stories over the years about, and it all sounds very consistent and logical. But the reality is, actually, I was sitting in London back like 6, 7 years ago as part of the Shell Group, the energy company. And I was looking for ideas to monetize on our petrol stations beyond just selling petrol and Starbucks coffee. So one of the opportunities that we came across was, hey, why don't we deploy cameras in the petrol stations and see, if drivers come in and out, we want to tell them, hey, look, you've got rust there, you've got a flat tire. And then we started looking more and more into damaged vehicles. So we trained the system. And then at one point, we got in touch with the car rental companies, and they said, well, that's perfect for us because then we can check cars in and out. And actually, we ended up working with companies like Avis and Hertz, doing just that. And at that point in time, I remember sitting, with myself and thinking, hey, this is just a great company to run on its own. And so I pitched this to my boss at Shell, and I said, well, I'm gonna start this for real. And I was lucky enough to get Shell to actually make an investment in Raven as part of our seed round. That was 2019, and from the rental car companies, we started evolving into other use cases where insurance just became a very attractive one, and that was in the last few years.
Okay, so within the insurance space, so you're deployed in Australia. Uh, are you active in Europe? Are you in the States? Where is it currently that you have a lot of clients?
Yeah, we're active in the US and to some extent in kind of EMEA, but definitely looking to scale more in the States and North America in general. We're deployed with car rental companies and all actually in the US, and that provides us a good basis of data to train this AI. So yeah.
Yeah, that is a huge source of data. So that does give you a nice advantage. Um, from your perspective, any insurance carrier that does a lot of auto is a good fit, or are there other characteristics that make somebody that make an insurance carrier a good partner, or maybe not a good partner for you guys?
It's a great question, and I'll be very candid here. I think insurance companies, um, it's more around, well, on the face of it, the business is, look, I have significant auto book that needs efficiencies, needs improvements. But also within the organization, I'm willing to do something fairly bold in addressing those challenges. And whilst we found that a lot of insurance companies say that they're willing to, to innovate, very few actually do. And I know this from within large companies, from my experience. It's very hard to drive change, especially with technology. And that's why you see actually the newcomers, the lemonades of the world, actually driving that change faster than the incumbents. But I think there is no choice really for carriers in the US specifically when you look at the spike in repair costs and the spike in claims. There's no other way. And I would think that we're going to see a lot more of these technologies coming on the market. I think we're probably the best or one of the best. So I'm very excited about that.
Fantastic. Um, what is the pricing like? Is it a per claim kind of thing, or what is the pricing like?
Yeah, it's a standard SaaS model, which is linked to the volumes you're using. So we'll have a price point for, call it 5,000 claims a year. We'll have another price point for 100,000 claims a year. And obviously the cost per case will decline based on that.
Okay. Um, at this point, after 7 years, it sounds like the technology is pretty pretty mature. Uh, is there anything coming down in the development pipeline that you're excited about that you can already talk about, or at this point you're basically like just looking to reach more carriers?
I'm excited about product development, and there is a lot more to be done. I think we're getting more and more sophisticated on the edge cases, which is really pushing the boundaries of what AI can and cannot estimate. One of the most common questions I get from clients is, what do you do with damage that you cannot see? Okay. So, of course, if you have a simple fender bender, we know what needs to be done. That's easy. Human can also estimate it, but how do you figure out if the sensors behind it are damaged? What happens to body damage, structural damage? How do you estimate that? We getting more sophisticated models that will predict that cannot be seen, and estimate it based on specific characteristics of vehicle. So that's one area I'm very excited about. I would say the secondary I'm very excited about is partnering up with other data sources like telematics, and general kind of data sources that I won't talk about too much here, but bringing that into our analysis, understanding accidents better, understanding liability better, and just creating a more holistic view for the claim agent. And the third area that I'm pretty excited about is really around our user experience. I genuinely feel like we have the best user experience for capturing images, which we've worked hard on over the years. But things like picking up signals on customer behavior, on fraud, for example, and doing a holistic scan of the vehicle, that is something we're really excited about, and understanding, from the way the user is conducting the scan, is the user honest? Like, am I trying to cheat because I'm walking too fast? These are things that we pick up and we put into the product continuously.
Fantastic. Super important also. The fraud side is something we consistently struggle with that costs the industry billions of dollars a year. And that becomes higher premiums for the rest of our customers. So super important. Uh, awesome. Uh, Eliron, thank you so much for your time today. Very interesting stuff. I started my career in auto claims, very low level auto claims, literally like taking the call and handling the small claims, not even writing estimates myself, but it's incredible to see how it's advanced since I was sitting in the desk 15 years ago, and awesome to see it keep going. So thank you very much for your time today. And of course, I do think you froze now. Okay, I think I have you back.
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
Perfect. Sorry about the unstable connection. I think the majority of it we caught fine. It was at the very end that it really degraded.